Storytellers, Arcane took a video game nobody thought could be adapted, and it became one of the best animated series. The live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender had a built-in audience, a massive budget, and beloved source material, and it flopped twice. Same medium, different outcomes. The difference, understanding what you're actually adapting. Today, I'm breaking down why some adaptations work perfectly while others crash, and what you need to know about the source material before you write a single line. Now, Arcane is based on League of Legends, a game with millions of players and zero narrative structure. No plot to follow, no script to transcribe, just characters, lore, and an epic, sprawling world. The writers didn't try to turn the game into a story, which is where some crash and burn. They asked what people care about. Why do they care about this world? And the answer was the relationships, class conflict, the tragedy of two sisters torn apart by forces beyond their control. They extracted the emotional core and built something entirely new around it. New viewers got a complete self-contained story. Fans got deeper resonance, Easter eggs, and a richer understanding of a world they absolutely love. And both audiences left satisfied. The lesson here, the source material is a starting point, not a blueprint. You're not transcribing, you are translating. The animated Avatar: The Last Airbender is an absolute masterpiece in many areas, but especially in pacing. It balances epic scope with intimate character moments. It takes time to breathe. The humor lands because the show earns our trust. The emotional beats hit because we've spent time with each of these characters and they feel like people. The live action film and the Netflix series alike both made the same fatal mistake. They treated the source material like a checklist instead of a living, breathing thing. The film compressed an entire season into 2 hours, and the Netflix series rushed through plot points that the original took episodes to earn. They prioritize fidelity to what happens over fidelity to why it matters, the heart and soul of the story. And this left fans feeling betrayed because the soul was missing. New viewers felt lost because the story assumed knowledge they just didn't have. Neither audience was served. The lesson here, fidelity to plot is not fidelity to the spirit, the core of the story. Sometimes you must change the plot to preserve what actually matters. So how do you thread this incredibly fine needle? You have to honor fans while welcoming the newcomers. And I know this can be incredibly hard. I've worked on several. But step one, you have to identify non-negotiables. What must stay true for this to still be this? Not plot points, but emotional truths, character dynamics, the feeling of the world. In Arcane, the sisters' relationship is non-negotiable. In Avatar, the found family dynamic and the hero's journey are non-negotiable. Everything else we can play with. Step two, identify what the new format demands. Every format has conventions that you have to stick to. A 10-hour animated series has room, a 2-hour film just doesn't. A live action series has different visual grammar than a game, a comic, or a cartoon. What needs to expand and what has to compress for this story to make sense in the new medium? Arcane had the luxury of time. It could deepen relationships slowly. A film adaptation of the same material would need to make different choices, faster intimacy, different entry points, and you have to understand that. Step three, make changes deliberately. Every divergence from your source material should serve the new medium or deepen the themes of the original source material. Never change just to be different. If you cut a fan favorite scene, you have to replace it with something that functions in the same way. If you age up a character, you have to earn that choice. Make it make sense. If you reorder events, make the emotional logic stronger, not weaker. And step four, you have to write for two different audiences, which can be difficult. But the newcomer should never feel like they're missing required reading, and the fans should feel rewarded for their knowledge, not punished because of it. Sometimes the source material doesn't want to be adapted, or at least not into the format that you're trying to push it into. A sprawling novel with 12 point of view characters might work as a limited series, but not as a 90-minute film. A first-person video game built around player choice will resist linear narrative entirely. Before you commit to a medium or format, ask, does this story actually fit this format? If the answer is no, either change your format or pick a different source material. Now, the best adaptations aren't the ones that cram everything in. They're the ones that know what to carry and what to leave behind. Adaptation is translation, not transcription. Your job isn't to be faithful to every plot point. Your job is to be faithful to what made people love this thing in the first place. And then find the best way to make people have that same feeling about this new thing that you're creating. Now, if you are working on an adaptation, join the Storyteller Sub for more screenwriting and filmmaking insights on adaptation, storytelling, screenwriting, strategy, and building a career that lasts. What's your adaptation? Drop your source format and the format you're adapting it to, and your biggest challenge in the process in the comments. I'll respond to the best ones. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this with a fellow writer or filmmaker. I'll see you guys in the next one.